After three separate votes on whether New York lawmaker George Santos should continue serving in Congress, the House of Representatives has voted to expel him.
Now, this comes after an investigation by the House Ethics Committee. It found that the New York Republican deceived donors and used campaign money to buy Botox, designer clothing, and take 2 trips. Some lawmakers pushed back against the expulsion, saying the courts or the people of New York should decide whether Santos continues to serve. But the vote needed to expel Santos reached the required 2/3 majority. Santos left the House floor before the vote was finished and made no comment. And most of Alabama's congressional delegation voted to keep Santos in Congress. But there were 2 yes votes for that expulsion.
North Alabama Congressman Robert Aderholt, a Republican, and Birmingham area Congresswoman Terry Sewell, a Democrat, were part of the 2/3 majority voting to oust Santos.
News 18 Chief Investigative Reporter Brian Lawson joins us now in the studio with more. Brian.
Right. This rarely happens. The last member expelled was Ohio Congressman James Traficant in 2002 after he was convicted of several felonies. Congressman Aderholt said today the House hasn't removed a member prior to a criminal conviction since the Civil War. But the House Ethics Committee's report on Santos found the sheer scope of the violations was, quote, highly unusual and damning, and the committee said his ethical failings go to the core of the legitimacy of the electoral process. Congressman Dale Strong expressed concern about Santos's conduct, but stressed today Santos should have been judged by a court and voters in his district. Aderholt said he understands why members were divided, but he had to ask himself if it was a Democrat, how would he vote? Aderholt said Santos was given multiple chances to defend himself and explain his actions, but he never did. Now, Congressman Dale Strong said, quote, I am disgusted by the allegations outlined by the Ethics Committee. Mr. Santos has no place in the House Republican Conference, and I believe he should have resigned on his own accord. However, Strong went on to say, removing a member who has not been convicted by a jury of his peers sets an incredibly dangerous precedent that I'm worried Washington, D.C. will have no problem abusing. He continues by saying Mr. Santos's fate should have been left up to the voters in his district and the federal courts. Congressman Robert Aderholt said, quote, I believe the situation Congressman Santos finds himself in rose to the level that he should no longer be serving in the House of Representatives. While George Santos is a fellow Republican, Aderholt said, and a Republican majority will now be less, I don't believe that even a slim majority should excuse such gross, unethical conduct. Politics should not be considered in such a manner. Now, Aderholt finished his statement saying members of Congress should be held to the highest standards and, quote, this was an unprecedented situation and I believe required this unprecedented action.